What's good, fam? I greet y'all. Peace, positivity, and most importantly, powers to go by being the melanated person in America. This is the Brown Brother. I need no introduction. But today I want to talk about change. Change is inevitable. Change is another word for inevitable is unavoidable. You can't dodge it. You can't miss it. It's almost like a I don't want to use that analogy. Let me see what kind of analogy can I use. It's almost like Super Bowl or any kind of championship. You know every single year is coming. It's almost like the collection plate. You know that thing coming around. Now, whether you decide to put money inside the collection plate or not, whether your team makes it to the Super Bowl or not, is really irrelevant in the situation. Is at the end of the day, every season, every Sunday, every whatever you want analogy you want to use is coming around. Okay. Um, but personal change is something that is required for each and every one of us, whether we actually feed into it, whether we actually live it, whether we actually even know it. It's required for each and every one of us to grow and mature. Now, you can go look at any psychological book or any kind of college textbook or speak to any kind of behavioral scientist, and they'll tell you that not only language, as in verbal language, whether it be verbal slang or as they like to say, ebonics, so any kind of term or word that you use, language is learned. When we grow up, we see adults, whether it be our older siblings, whether it be uncles, aunties, parents, grandparents, whether we see them using a specific kind of language. We see them using specific kind of terms, slang, our friends, whatever. And as we move to different demographics, where you may start off living in Philly and you learn Philly slang, but then you go move down abruptly. You may move to Florida. So at 12 and 13 years old, still at a very impressionable age, or maybe even 10 or 11 if you want to use a different age, you try to pick up on the slang that's down there. And that's saying that you change and not stop using every single word that you learn, but you adapt to your behaviors or your environment. I remember the movie ATL, which was produced over, I think, directed by T.I., and they had the dude whose name was Brooklyn or New York or whatever they call, and they had a scene where they're all in a diner, and he called everybody his son, and T.I. was like, "Nah, bro, you ain't my son," because in New York, son meant a different thing than it meant down south or whatever. So you understand where I'm coming from. But as you get to a specific environment, you begin to change. But just as you get to a specific environment and change, the father time is an environment within itself, and you begin to change, whether you know it or not. You begin to change. Um, I could personally look at myself and look at my life. I've changed a lot, even since starting this YouTube channel, which I think we probably at almost a 9 month anniversary now of me starting this channel. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe even a little bit later than that. And I can see myself changing in little small ways and beginning to be very confident in my manhood, begin to be very confident in my understanding, begin to be very confident in what I know and taking charge. Not again, taking charge is totally different from look at me, being that whatever. But it's several factors. I give you an example. Persistent. I'm very persistent. When I first apply for admissions at at the college or whatever university or wherever you're attending, you have to be very persistent. In my journey to going to college, I was very persistent. When I first applied for admissions, they were going very slow. Nobody could give me no answers. Nobody was really talking to me for real, for real. So every single day I got on the phone talking to people. Hi, my name is Dada. I was telling them my name every single time I talked to somebody. I was telling them my name. It got to the point that I was calling them so much they knew me. They were like, I said, "Hey, this is someone." They're like, "Yeah, I know this is you. You calling for the receptionist or I guess the person who was working the phones or whatever, or the person who was inside the admissions office got to knowing me on a first name basis because I would call so much because that's the school I wanted to attend. And if they were going that slow, it was a possibility I could not get inside this. So I took thing on my own. Now you can't do it weird. You have to conduct yourself professionally. Again, just like I said, with the idea of taking charge and change and being mature, you don't mean being a dirtbag or a douchebag, but at the same time, it means doing it respectfully, but being persistent and being confident. And just change is inevitable. As you grow older, if you stick to that one mindset, you will never progress. I believe it's the Bible that says, when I was a boy, I did boy things, but as I became a man, I left all boy things alone, and I began to basically challenge myself as a man and become different. Change again is inevitable. I can't tell you how. Just know it is, bro. You going through it now. And for some of those my older bros who watch this channel, you already know what I'm talking about. Just as much as you grow a beard, and it's a natural process, just like puberty. I don't have to tell you. Um, I don't have to tell you the effects or what happens during puberty, because 9 to 10 you already going through it or are going through it. But you know that change is there, and you can't do nothing to stop it. I mean, you can maybe stunt it in some weird way, or I guess you could take like some hormone treatments or some weird kind of stuff or whatever, to stop it. But if you're a man and you're a real man, you embrace that change and you embrace it, and you take it, and in every situation, you become very controlled within yourself. That's why I tell you, practice self control, practice discipline, because if you go through change, some of the things you're actually going to enjoy, some of the things that you even learned that are great, you're going to learn away, you're going to turn away from it, or you're going to go to something else to look at with college. Like I told you, I wrote that article where I was saying some people gain black consciousness, some people lose black consciousness, some people gain spiritual awareness, some people lose spiritual awareness. They lose spiritual awareness but gain textbook knowledge. And all these things, you begin to learn certain things, and you will begin to change, and your environment will change you. You yourself will change you. Your age will change you. The people you're around will change you. Your spirituality, your mentality. If you continue to practice progression or proactive behavior, you will begin to change. Like I said again, I could tell you, I can go down the line and tell you how my taste in music has changed. My taste in relationships has changed. I still, I tell you all the time, looks are great, but you begin to look for those people who are just as beautiful inside as outside. You begin to look for that music that feeds your consciousness. You begin to look for those clothes that are right. I don't dress too much. You find me very few times without a tie on, or at least I got a button up on. Some people say I'm dressed like an old man, but to me, I dress for success because my whole mindset and mentality has changed. You begin to change in behaviors. I mean, people always should talk about me and where I'm from. Like, man, look at you now. You ain't got big. I seen you. I watch you grow up. Now I'm seeing, kids. I'm like, wow, I seen them grow up. I seen kids grow up. My cousins and stuff. I'm seeing them like getting big. They're going to high school and stuff now. And I'm like, when did that happen? Change is inevitable. You see it happen. But now I look at them as the next generation. I look at myself. I tell them in a minute. I don't say it like that, but I'm an old man now. My time is gone. You're the next generation. I'm doing the things now, so you don't have to go through the things that I'm going through. You understand where I'm coming from? So change, it comes. It changes your mentality. Like I said again, we don't look at each other eye to eye when I make these videos. You don't see me what happens to me when I get off this camera. But if you just even know, I take my word for it, or maybe in some glimpse when I make these videos, you get some kind of glimpse into my soul. Maybe you will see that I changed in the way I talk and the way I address things now and the way I come across now. I don't cut corners. I don't go soft. I don't go easy. And again, I still keep the same basis. Other channel we don't criticize. We have um, um, uh, conversations, but at the same time, you see me that I see it. I see everything now. I'm more aware. I'm more vigilant. So I'm gonna give you a couple of tips on how you know that you change. Number one, we become more assertive. Again, don't not a douchebag, not arrogant. You have to tame your attitude, and you have to be very strategic in how you say things and how you do things. Not going soft. Being tough when you need to be tough, being more open when you need to be open, being more understanding when you need to be more understanding, being more book smart when you need to be more smart, book smart, but being more street smart when you need to be more street smart. It's a balance, but you become assertive. Okay, I'll tell you this conversation the other day I was having where I had to get something done, or had to go get something or whatever. I bought something, and they were telling me, well, you can get the upgrade, or you can get this, and you can get that, and so forth. And I was like, yeah, I need that, but I don't need that. And they kept pushing and kept pushing. Well, this, if you get this, it comes with this. But if you do that, it comes with that. If you do this, it does that. And I said, no, I don't need that. Let me just get that. And I didn't say it in a mean way, didn't say it in an arrogant way, but I said it in a very straight tone where they were like, all right, cool, yes. And I'm getting, you become straight because I'm looking at you like I'm a man, just like I'm a man. No, I don't need that. But I appreciate it though. That's why I always say I know thank you, but I appreciate it though. and I leave it like that. My voice is very even. I'm very assertive. Now, back when I was maybe less mature, or maybe before became confident in my true manhood and began to go on this black consciousness journey that I'm going on, it may have been a time where they could talk me into that upgrade. They could talk me into that thing where I'd be like, well, yeah, let me go ahead and get it. No, I don't need it. I don't need it. Then I don't want it. If I don't want it, I don't need it. And that's it. And that's the end of the conversation. So you become more assertive. You become more assertive in the basis that, you see somebody and you be like, well, I don't want to say this, or I don't want to get that because this may happen. No, you become more assertive as a leader. When it was time for us to do group projects in school, I automatically take it over. I like, okay, you say you're good at this, well, you do that, I do this, whatever. We come, this is the time we meet, everybody be here. Period. That's it. And it's not being mean, it's not being, but you become assertive. That's what a leader does. That's what a man does. Now you take everybody talking, you hear what everybody's saying, but we're not often to sit around here with our chickens running with our head cut off without having any common sense. So when we do group projects, then you make me a leader, or you make somebody just as confident as me a leader. And even then, I'm assertive and be like, well, no, let's not do this. Let's do this. Or what do you think? Or once you say what you say, then you hear feedback. Then you actively handle the situation. So become more assertive. Two, how you know you become how you know you've changed and become more mature, or how change is inevitable. You begin to see that people begin to call you sir, depending on what kind of way you change yourself. Again, I go back to Mr. Ron Wheels when he was talking about a video where he would be on a bus and he was saying people would be up there and using all kind of profanity and sounding crazy and sounding any kind of way, right? And to the point that his demeanor was so straightforward, they started addressing him as sir. And within the last 6 months, I've been getting that just because I've been stepping up my game a little bit and dressing a little bit better, even though y'all already know I'm already a sharp dress as it is. But I've taken it to even the next level with shirts and ties. I'm very color coordinated, and I have a straightforward face, and so forth and so on. People are beginning to address me as sir, yes sir, and I give them that sir back out of respect, right? But even then, they're saying sir because I've stepped a level above that. Ha ha ha. I'm very straightforward. Like, yeah, that's cool. I'm very calm. Anytime I'm in a situation where I see people get riled up, I have been very calm and very collective and very cool. So much to the point that people are saying that, when they hear I'm the age I am, they're like, oh, wow, I thought you were older, or oh, wow, that's cool. Or again, going back to when it's just small interaction, they say, yes, sir, because I'm very respectful. I'm very straightforward. But at the same time, I have the presence that not as so much as I deserve it, but I'm not trying to be like everybody else. And people will respect that. And they will take that, and even they don't know it, subconsciously or consciously, they make that decision that, yeah, he's different. So yes, sir, that's showing respect, just as I show you respect. If I say yes, sir to you, yes, ma'am to you, I get it right back. That's not only a two-way street, but it's a certain level of confidence that you must have to show that. Again, calm. Three, that's how you know you change and you become more mature. You begin to be calm. When you see somebody beautiful, your heart beats a little bit less faster. Um, when you're conducting business, you begin to be a lot more smooth, and you go through certain situations. Like, I've done that. When you make mistakes, you don't beat yourself up as much, but you look at it from a strategic angle. And again, I told you about the best book. If you go to my blog, I told you what's the best book to ever read as a young man, Critical Thinking, and it's a college textbook by Parsons, and that's the best book I've ever read, called Critical Thinking. And I use critical thinking strategies when I make a mistake, and like, okay, yeah, I made that mistake, but how can I come better? How can I do better? And even if you have to punish yourself, give yourself little small punishments. Why I messed up on this hour, where you got diet and exercise. Why I messed up on my diet. I hate hitting leg day. So I'm gonna, instead of doing an easy little back workout or a chest workout, I'm gonna do 2 leg days as a punishment to myself for indulging in that ice cream sundae. You see what I'm saying? Or you can say something like, well, I did this and I messed up. Well, because I did that, not saying that you got to ease your guilty conscience, but okay, I messed up. I was supposed to take the trash out. I didn't take the trash out. But now I'm not only going to take the trash out, but I'm again said, instead of putting the dishes in the dishwasher, I'm going to wash the dishes by hand. Give yourself little mental punishments so you can come back correct. And again, as you begin to make mistakes, not diverting from that, excuse me, I think this is tip 3 or 4, as you begin to make mistakes, right? you begin to be more of, let me stop being myself. Oh, I was so stupid when I talked to old girl. I made mistake and said my name wrong, or I had bad posture. You begin to not measure yourself up, and you're like, okay, that's fine. Well, I'm on to the next one. Or you be more respectful, or you make note of it, but you continue on with your day. You don't let that stop you from anything else, because just as you walk away from that situation, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, you can meet somebody else, or even, it's not even just relationships. You mess up with a relationship, but you can 3 hours later. I gave y'all a story how I lost a 6-figure job and a girl in my dreams at the same day. It was more of a laughable story time, but I told that story as to tell you kind of how I've matured. It may be a job while you're on campus. It may be a representative for a job, your dream job there. And if you so beating yourself up about probably a person you probably never going to talk to again, or may exchange numbers and never really hang out with, here goes the setup right now that's going to prepare you to the dream of the job of your dreams. You understand where I'm coming from? So again, you begin to beat yourself up less. You begin to use strategic thinking in it, but you begin to also use strategies to make sure you don't make that mistake ever again. Again, small punishments, or even just the basis of just correcting your wrongs. 4, your appearance will change. Again, how I talked about that, but I didn't talk about it in the basis of attire, haircut, beard, um, glasses, shades. Your appearance will change. Your posture will become different. You begin to walk with more confidence, whether you know it or not. You begin to walk with your head a little bit higher. You'll begin to make that more sharper eye contact. You'll begin to use a more firmer grip when shaking hands with people. You'll become even aware of those small details. I can't tell you how many times I walked out the door and looked at myself and said, that's not right. So I put on something different, and how that's helped. And my appearance goes a thousand ways. You begin to care what your teeth look like. You begin to care whether your hair is this way or not. And but even in the basis of appearance, because you can go to the Lasat movement, the Dandy movement, in the Congo, or in France, where the brothers dress up every single day as more of a celebratory or celebrity status. But I'm not talking about that. But I mean appearance in your attitude and the way you move. And you begin to even see people that haven't seen you for a while, whether it be a month, whether it be 6 months, whether it be a year. Some family I've seen, they be like, wow, you changed. But I don't know, I can't tell you what it is about you, but you're different now. Or even in your mannerisms and the way you act, people will come out in a minute and say, yeah, I ain't seen you in a year, but you really changed. You're more mature. I'm looking at the way you carry yourself, that school, that job, that relationship, that really is really done something for you. We always say that all the time. That new haircut, that whatever, that new whatever is working for you. That's your external, that's your interior, or internal emotion changing, but in a positive way. Your external interactions, behaviors, performance, and attitudes, attire, and I guess just presence and essence as a human being, or as a young black man, even more specific, which the video is geared towards. And 5, I guess the biggest thing I can say, that if you mature, or how you know you changed and how you know the change has come, you'll begin to establish yourself. And what I mean by establish yourself is lay a good foundation. You'll begin to start doing things to try to build towards a legacy. At this young age I'm in, I'm already trying to establish myself as a legacy. I've already, like I said again, got books on the way that I've written. Just it takes, a lot of extra to make sure the books go by complete, make sure they're edited properly, make sure they have all the proper ISBN numbers, make sure they have all the proper copyright numbers. A lot that goes into it. But I already have certain things that are already ready for my legacy. You begin to do things and to build a foundation. And even when you begin to change for the second time around, if that thing does not fit your spirituality or your personality, you begin to drop those things. Like I told you about the job that I took, I did a story time where I talked about my job. How I told you that God will put certain people in your life for a season to change you. And when I took the job that I took, when I go back and read my story time, and I think the story time is entitled "Maybe My Personal Situation, Maybe This Will Help You," and what I learned from my personal situation. When I took the job began to change me. The job consumed my behavior, my mannerisms, my actions. It even began to consume some of my thoughts. And not saying there's anything bad, because it was one of those jobs that for the first time ever required all of my time, all of my effort. And a lot of times I didn't even have time to go to the gym. I didn't really even have time to eat. I had to go pick up something real quick, go home, get started on my homework or college. Is because you have homework or you have outside work of the classroom in college. I'm beginning to get started on my homework, and after that, I found myself laying out, going to sleep. So that job consumed the majority of my time, but it began to change me. So now, as I had break from that job, which was a week or two, I had to put that job into perspective, and I had to say, this job is changing you too much. So what can I do now to change myself so that this job does not change me? So I put away so much of the effort of just going home and going to sleep, but I begin to sleep for nourishment, begin to eat for nourishment, and using the effort, so much effort that I go, let me get through as fast as I can if I can just go to sleep and get up for the next job. When I mean effort, I don't mean effort in not working, but I mean like just how you can use effort for schoolwork, which I always tell you, put 110 effort, whether it be the job. And don't get it twisted. I kept just as much effort on the job. I worked just hard as the job, but I didn't put so much effort into post after I got off. Let me get something to eat and go sleep, or go sleep, do my homework and go sleep. That was always my mindset. But I said, no, let me go home. The 1 or 2 days I do have off, let me prep my meals. That cuts out an hour of your day right there waiting in traffic and then waiting at a drive through somewhere for it with everybody else who don't feel like sitting waiting for food. I had to sometimes sit in the drive through 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That's wasting time. Put that food in real good, heat it up 5 minutes, whatever it take. I'm sitting at the computer at least typing a 5 minute article. Get on YouTube. That's why I don't blog so much because I can get on YouTube and the 5 minutes that it takes me even to write one sentence on the blog, I knocked out a video. Even the video is how to match a tie with a shirt. Whether the video could just be ministering to somebody. Whether the video could be a 5 minute inspiration telling you how to make sure you choose the right person or the right friends around your life. You can make a change in that little time. So I began to use my time more wisely and took away so much of that. And I use that, and that's a funny way of wording it, but that's the way I thought about it. So much as rushing the effort to try to go to sleep and get up and go back to the same job that's consuming me. That's not my love, but I begin to actually do little side hustles and side videos, and y'all seen the videos I make. They're not always the crispiest, but I make these videos so it can help someone, because this is my true passion. So like I said again, you will see the things that are beginning to consume you, and you will change. Now I'm leaving away from that job and got another job now, who I think was going to require just as much time. If you want to look at it from a clock, I can put a time clock or a timesheet format. It's going to take just as much time as the other job. But this job has given me some freedom to kind of work at the same time and work on myself, or out there in the general public, but at the same time give me a little bit more freedom and openness. And I definitely believe that it's a good transition. So even if you're in the job or you're at the school, but it's consuming you, take a step back. That's how you know you're really mature and you begin to change, because you will begin to actively use critical thinking to even look at yourself. It's easy to judge or critique somebody else's life or somebody else, but it's hard. But how you know that you're mature, and but I'm saying it's hard to judge yourself and critique yourself and try to fix yourself. But how you know that you're mature when you actually look at yourself and you look at it from a universal angle and use the mind that the universal God gave us and look at things from a universal angle and actually be able to change yourself. It's a great thing, and that's how you become mature. So again, you're changing yourself, but you're not changing yourself in the basis of trying to get some blonde hair somewhere, or trying to change yourself, and just, if you got long hair one day, or you got a beard one day and just shaving it all off. That's not change. That's just appearance. That's doing something different. But change, true change, is when you see a situation that's happening and it's laying waste to your foundation, or eating at your foundation, or eating at your heart, or a decision you made is one as not really a great one, or something bad happens, like a bad breakup or whatever, and you're able to look at that from a universal angle and change your perspective and say that that was not a step down, it's a step up. It was not That was not a breakdown or a break up. but it was a breakthrough for me to find something bigger and better. That's how you know you mature, because you change your negative perspective into something positive. That's what I'm trying to say. That feel good finally explaining that fully. You're changing your negative perspective. You're changing all your negativity, all your immature ways, all your immature attitudes into something positive and progressive and proactive. And you will see, once you do that, once you found that place, once you begin to grow and mature, the rest of life will seem a little bit more easy. And not saying that we want that easy button, but as hard and much a pressure as life is, we could definitely enjoy being able to have a smoother path and a smoother transition to even greater things. Because even though you reach this level, you still got here and you still got here, and it never stops. You learn forever, you grow and progress forever. So peace and blessing to each and every one of y'all. This is Brian Brothers. I know this video was pretty long, but I thank y'all for watching, and I'm on to the next one. Peace.